parents have asked us about the value and meaning of having their children with disabilities assessed using IQ tests, for example. And our experience with IQ tests actually is that would be a meaningless exercise. If the system has created funding mechanisms that are tied to IQ levels, then in fact the system needs to change. Because all the IQ levels would do basically is be testing for dollars. And that's not the way in which we should be looking at children when we're providing them with an education.
One of the risks of IQ testing as well is that it gets confused with another misperception, and that is somehow connecting that to mental age for students, which of course is a very destructive and also a mythological way of understanding people's experience and knowledge and skills as children. So it's a very dangerous assumption to somehow equate a child's ability to be fully included in school to some IQ measure or some mental age. None of those will predict anything about the student's participation in a regular class.
There's no relationship, even though it's been done historically, between an IQ test and what kind of education you receive, where you should receive that. Historical use of IQ tests to divide children up into categories and put them in special education classes has been to the serious detriment of those children, because it labels them negatively. It creates presumptions that children can only learn so much, and there's just no connection at all, none whatsoever, between an IQ test and where and how you should be educated.
Another way to talk about the danger of IQ tests is it puts people, children, into categories and suggests somehow that you know something about someone because that IQ score is related to a category. It in no way does that, and in fact it promotes the continual perpetual stereotyping of people and not individually understanding a child's learning abilities or skills or competencies.
The purpose of assessing should be, in fact, when a child's in a regular inclusive classroom, what we might find and need to know in order to help them learn better. But they have to be in an inclusive classroom, actually, for those assessments to actually have meaning and valued. And those materials and results have to be of value and interest to the teacher to utilize them in curricular planning, instruction, assessment of assignments, etc. In that case, the assessment is for purposes of delivering education, not for dividing children up into categories and negatively label them.
Any kind of really good assessment would be used to measure the progress of a child in their learning, and also to give the teacher advice about instructional diversity and how to build the right kinds of instructional style to the child's learning abilities.